Welcome to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, where today's top influencers and entrepreneurs on the rise share empowering stories and ninja tips to become the fuel that ignites a positive change in your life. Our guests don't simply coast through life. They don't let difficult situations stop them. They set big goals, keep their eyes on the prize, and they're joining us today to share insider secrets you can use right now to step into your power and live your purpose. Now, here's your host, Christy Ruffino.
Welcome to today's episode of the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast. I am Christy Ruffino, the host of the show and the creator of the Overcoming Mediocrity series of books. You found this podcast because, I don't know, maybe somebody referred you to us, but the whole reason why this podcast was created was because we created a series of books under the Overcoming Mediocrity name. And right now we have women from our 10th book of the series. It is Overcoming Mediocrity, Empowered Women. And I have 5 of these empowered women with me today, and they're going to talk a little bit about their stories. And they've got, I believe, some special gift they want to share with you at the end. So make sure you stay with us through the whole episode so you hear not only everybody's stories, but make sure you have a chance to find out what special gifts that they're going to be giving that are included with the book. So let's go ahead and start with Sharon. Welcome, Sharon, to the show today. I'm so glad you're with us. You're looking beautiful today. I see your puppy in the background taking a little nap.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, so I know we were connected, oh my gosh, months ago, and you have a deep desire to make a bigger impact in the world. And you've gone through something on your journey that has positioned you in a really great place right now. And so I'd love to have you share a little bit about your story. You know, what is the journey of Sharon and why do people want to read your story in our next book?
It's a great question. So my story is not unique. And what it's about is a 5-year-old girl who made a very critical choice about who she was out there in the world to everybody and how it impacted me in every area of my life up until the age that I am now.
Great. There's a lot of kids as young ladies that have had challenges, but why did you want to share that story?
I don't want kids, especially out there, to think that when things happen in their life that they feel is not good or is bad, to make themselves bad and wrong their whole life to where they don't ever accomplish anything. You know, they tell that story to themselves, the lie, if you will, that they're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, whatever that looks like for them. That's not who they really are.
Yeah. Well, I think as kids, you know, other kids can be so hard on us. And more importantly, we can be very hard on ourselves. And so we start telling ourselves these crazy stories as children. And some of them we go on to believe that they're completely not true. And that experience, those experiences in your life have brought you to kind of be really singular focused in what you do now in your business.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, part of that is also when you tell yourself a lie, I went through life saying, I'll show you. So anybody that doubted me or wanted to make me wrong, I always had it in my head, I'll show you. And so it's also a survival mechanism that we create and not knowing that that's what that is, you know, until you discover it.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say that, you know, when you have challenges or people kind of get in our head about something, we can make that the excuse why we don't do something, which is an excuse, or the reason why we should do something, right? Why we should persevere and say, I'll show you, you know, kind of create that fuel.
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell us a little bit, we have a few more minutes left. What is it that you're doing now to make a bigger impact around this whole journey?
Well, I create confidence and courage through creativity. And I do home staging and redesign, interior design. And I love helping others self-discover on what they can create for their life moment by moment. It doesn't have to be a certain way, it doesn't have to look a certain way. You know, they get to create, they get to paint and be the author of their own life.
Great. Well, I know we've had quite a few conversations, and I tell you, Sharon, I can't wait to read your story. And I know our readers are going to love to read your story as well. So thank you. But hang on, because we're going to come back to you in a little while. But I want to have Marilu have a chance to share about her story. So, Marilu, welcome to the podcast today.
Thank you. This is very exciting.
Yeah. And where are you actually from? Oh, Sharon, I forgot to ask you really quick. Where are you located right now? I know the audience loves to be able to see kind of where we're all from.
I am in a small town called Dunedin, Florida. It's on the
Great.
Gulf side of Florida.
Oh, I was just on the Gulf side 2 days ago, but I'm back in Chicago. All right. So, Marilu, where are you calling from? I just kind of visited you when I was in your neck of the woods in February.
That's right. So I still consider myself a Floridian, but currently, right now, I am in Texas in a small little town called New Braunfels, Texas. It's in hill country. It's near San Antonio. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful area. So, gosh, we've had so many great conversations, and I can't wait to read your story. You have just a vast experience as a professional in the medical industry that has kind of led you on this journey. And I don't want to give away your story. So let's go ahead and have you share a little bit about your story. Why do you feel so passionate about what you're doing now, and why your journey kind of positions you now to be the perfect person to help people?
Okay, so my journey began as a kid, really. I always grew up with digestive issues, and you get sent to physicians, and they all say, run some tests, and everything seems to be okay, but you still just don't feel all that great. So I was in the hospital working as a pharmacist for 17 years, had a big position. I was a clinical pharmacist and then became the director of the pharmacy department. So very stressful job. My career moved on. I, had 3 children who are all college aged. And I was sitting at a conference one day and I heard a quote a physician was saying, and it's very concerning to me. And then the quote was, "Recent studies show that today's generation of children may have a shorter life expectancy than their parents." And I became very concerned when I heard that because, first of all, I have 3 children. And it just made me think, because in the hospital, we treat sickness, really, we manage disease. And I decided that I wanted to focus more on wellness, so disease state prevention and health promotion instead. And I realized through all my education as I went on and getting more certifications in digestive health and gut health, that we could really help ourselves. We could fix our guts if we really focus. We need to change our diets. I believe that, we're in the fast food, we're considered the fast food generation. And doesn't matter how fast you run at the end of the day, you really can't outrun this sad diet. I call it the sad diet because, first of all, it's sad that we're all getting sicker, but that's the standard American diet. So I like to educate on gut health, why it's so important. I feel that if you understand your digestive system, which I feel is a very underrated organ, because it's, it doesn't have the love of your heart. It's this long tube that, we know what it ends with, but, and everybody says, don't talk about poop, but, it's all part of the digestive tract. But, I say to myself, are we really living longer? Or, with 50% of adults having at least one chronic condition, 25% of adults have 2 or more. I say to myself, are we really living longer, or are we living shorter and dying longer?
Yeah.
So I like to, I want to educate the world that I realize that the fork and knife actually may be our most powerful tool to transform our health.
Oh, so good, Marilu. So good. And I totally resonate with the living shorter or dying longer, because I just kind of experienced that with my mom. And I know if she would have made better decisions with what she put in her body, things would have, I feel would be completely different for her.
Absolutely.
So I can't wait to read your story as well. So, all right, Lindsey, we'll go ahead and have Lindsey on board. I'd love to have you all meet Lindsey. Welcome, Lindsey. I am so excited that you had time today to be on our podcast. And you are just doing amazing things in the world right now with your journey. And people who are listening right now can't necessarily see where she's at, but behind her, she is at a horse stable or a barn. And it's just amazing how that is part of her journey that has positioned her in a great place right now. So welcome, Lindsey. Happy to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. It sounds so much cooler when you say it like that. I just want you to walk around introing me all the time. That just makes me feel so good. Thank you. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to be here.
Oh, I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy to have you. All right, so it's your turn. We all want to hear your story. How did you get to where you are now? And why should the listeners that are on our show today make sure they pick up the book and read your story?
Sure. Well, as you can see, I'm in a barn. My story centers around horses, and what woman doesn't want their story to center around horses? I left home when I was 17 years old to pursue a career riding horses and trading horses. The thing is, I had no competition expertise. I had no reason to think that that was going to be successful in any way. And I moved to Kentucky and I hinged all of my sort of life goals on that, on the assumption that I could make this happen. And luckily for me, I was able to find a horse that could take me all the way. I somehow managed to convince a whole slew of people around me that I could take this horse to the Olympics in a matter of, a short matter of years. No big deal. I'll just horse whisper him. It'll be fine. And I didn't, obviously. It took me a long time to get to the place that we wanted to go, but the end of the journey came about 7 years later when we managed to compete on the world stage in Kentucky at a big event there. It's basically a horse triathlon, and it's the only one of its kind in the northern hemisphere. It only exists in about 4 places in the world at that level, and my tiny little tribe of people made it all the way to the top, and we did it. We competed on the world stage only after many failures and lots of lessons learned on the way. I think it's important for people to hear this story because very often we get wrapped up in sort of living goal to goal and focusing so hard on getting to that place that we don't learn to enjoy the act of getting there. Like we spend so much more time on the journey than actually arriving. And then once we arrive, then we go, oh my gosh, I just need to go on another journey to get to this next place. And we just live goal to goal and we never really learn to enjoy getting to that place. And so this whole story can empower someone to beat the odds and to figure out how to love the act of getting there, because really our whole lives, that's all we're doing is getting there.
Oh my gosh, those are words that are so true. I know one of the things that I learned on my motorcycle journey, part of my life, I've been riding for 30 years and I still have to kind of check myself, but it isn't about the destination, it's about the journey. And if we're constantly focusing on the goal and the destination and when we arrive, we're missing so much, and the everyday experiences that journey is that's part of it. So,
Amen.
yay, love it. All right. Well, thanks, Lindsey. So hang tight because we want to come back to you. I know you have one more great nugget to share at the end of our show today. So right now, though, I want to have Tess. Welcome, Tess. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much, Christy. I'm so excited to be here. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love your beautiful red shirt. And I love you got the girl behind you with the red shirt. I like that. Looks completely staged, even though I know it wasn't, because I know we all had some technical difficulties today, but you pull it off brilliantly.
Oh my gosh. No, not really. But I do this with grace and I do it with ease. It's good, right?
Yep. You look great. So, all
Thank
right.
you.
Well, your story, I'm going to ask you basically the same question. Why do people want to hear your story? Because I know your journey, you've been on some pretty You've been on a pretty hairy ride, and now you've arrived at a place where you are making a huge impact in the lives of your clients. So, share a little bit about your journey and why that journey has really positioned you in such a great place and really in uh, an ideal situation to make a huge impact on the lives of your clients.
Awesome, thank you. You know that movie Wonder Woman?
Yes.
I just really resonate with her. And I know that there's women that resonate with purpose and power, and we want to walk into this powerful state of being, right? But what I find is women get stuck in their processes. They get stuck with being really hard on themselves, and they put pressure, unnecessary pressure on their life. And so um, I'm an entrepreneur, and while I've been an entrepreneur, educating in health and finances and loving coaching and being around that, I did a really huge stage of growth where I started analyzing my beliefs and my behaviors and my actions, and how I was on an entrepreneurial carousel, not enjoying my processes. Like, I knew that I was created for more, but I found myself people pleasing, fearful, stuck in a less fulfilling life. And so, me taking back and coming back to clarity around my purpose, seeing who I serve, understanding that life has always been working for me. Like you say, we're positioned, but do we align ourselves in the power to create that profitability in our businesses? And so that's what I do. I help women in business just really connect their life to their business, because those two things are not separate. But we often put the hats on and want to um, do business, but then it becomes the greatest stress in their life rather than something that's easy and fulfilling, and knowing that life is working for you. So that's my story of really digging in into clarity about my purpose, and how life has always been behind the scenes working on my behalf.
Love that. Totally love that. And when
So
you were sharing, I got the visual image of the carousel, and I think so many, especially women, can relate. We're on this carousel and we're going around and we're going around, and eventually we'll have
exactly.
times where the carousel just goes so fast and it's just going, and then things are flying off and we're holding on, and we're not necessarily enjoying the ride anymore because we pack so much into our world and into our lives. So when we do find our purpose, and I completely agree with you, and we're able to step into our purpose and just like follow that path, that's when things become easier and we're able to make a bigger impact, and then our clients actually will become kind of attracted to us, like magnetic. They see what we're doing and
Right?
they want that
Right.
too, and then it just becomes like just this great thing. So
Yeah. Life is working for us, and business doesn't have to be the greatest stress in your life.
no, absolutely not. All
Right.
right, Tess. Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your story. And next we have Ginna Tassanelli. So welcome, Ginna. I know I've known you, gosh, for I don't know, I think 3 years. And we met in a Facebook group, but we also met in Florida on one of my trips. And so it's really cool to be able to have people all over the United States so far. I mean, we have women in our books from other countries, but I've not met them yet. But I've met a lot of the women from our books that are different states, and I know Gina and Marilu are one of them. And Sharon, I don't know why we didn't connect when I was in the Gulf last week, but I'll have to go back. And Lindsay, you're in my backyard, and Tess, we definitely have to meet. So, all right, I'm done talking. Gina,
No.
I want
Oh,
you to. It's your turn now. Welcome.
thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, it's so awesome we can finally meet in person, and not just virtually. So it's been a great few years getting to know you as well, Christy.
Yeah, we actually met at a tea room. Like
Good.
I knew I was going to be in the area, so I put together like this little networking event, and it was so much fun. We got to wear like these fancy tea hats and like scarves and get all. We didn't get dressed up, but we put the hats and stuff on
The
to
hats.
match
Yeah,
our outfits and had our little tea, and it was fun.
it was.
So I want you to share your story, your journey. Why? Like I know you've been on a lot too. in your life, and you have a great business. There are multiple things that you're doing, multiple hats, I should say, T hats that you're wearing. And so share with the audience why your story is so important and why you're so great at what you do right now because of that.
Oh, thank you. I think really any woman can relate to my story in some way, some form or another. So it really starts with me as a young girl, as a dancer, a ballerina, and comparing myself, comparing my body, having self-doubt, and playing this game of hide and seek, which is actually part of the title of my story. Pretending that life was perfect, that everything was perfect, that I was perfect, trying to live up to expectations that were just not realistic. And what that did for me over the years as I became a teenager and then went to college and even into the beginning parts of my marriage was really sabotaging everything. And I would consume myself with work when I worked in the corporate arena 12 years ago before I became an entrepreneur. And so I found myself just really not showing up with authenticity. And then when I became an entrepreneur and was trying to make a living on my own to help support my family, I found that I was still in this cycle of playing hide and seek and not being a real person. And so, what I learned throughout this process was the foundations of actually showing up as a personal brand, which also helped me internally understand who I was and go get past all of those failures and those self-doubts and hiding and understanding that I really did have something to offer and nothing that I made mistakes of in the past was going to define who I was. And it's okay, and we all fail. And it's okay to show up as you and to accept your body for, how it was created. It's beautiful no matter what. And the more that you can accept yourself, the more you can show up with authenticity and then serve others and make an impact the way that you want to. So that's what my story's about, and I can't wait to share it.
Yeah, I love the title, or having hide and seek in the title. I think that's really clever, because I believe that we all kind of have. I'm sure anybody that's listening and everybody on this show on the panel right now can relate to the whole kind of feeling of what other people see on the outside is not necessarily what we see on the inside, and that disconnect doesn't have to be. I mean, we were all created to be like we are, and we're beautiful in our own way, beautifully imperfect. So that's my I love that word. But so yeah, and yeah, so I think this is great. And I also have talked to hundreds and hundreds. I mean, we had over 200 women in our books, but I've talked to so many more women too on their journey, about their stories. And I think the thing that everybody that's listening right now needs to realize about their story is that it matters. Your journey matters. And our story is never over. I've had so many women say, well, I'm in the middle of my story, or I'm waiting to do my story. And, we all have many stories of our lives, but when we kind of embrace that past story, that story that may be holding us back, it really will open us up to the next story, and it will allow us to expand and grow and just move on in such a more authentic and successful way.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's been the last part of the current journey, is helping other women do that as well. So that's what I'm passionate about. And yeah, and I'm excited to tell more people and help them through that process.
And help them show up that way in their brand, right? And in their business.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
that's the you always want to have this unique selling proposition in your business, or this uniqueness. Like, why are you different than your competitors? Because everybody can sell a widget,
Mhm.
right? But not everybody can sell it the way you do. And people don't necessarily want to buy a product and service. They want that relationship with you because you're delivering that promise, whatever that promise is. And so your brand is so important with that. It's why people really want to do business with you. So, yay.
Yeah.
Yay. All right,
Yeah.
ladies. Well, thank you so much. Hang tight. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And if you're listening, hang tight as well. It will just be like less than a minute. We'll come right back. And I know all of the women on the panel have something special they want to share with you. So hold tight. Today's episode is brought to you by the Overcoming Mediocrity Project. Are you ready to share your story in a life-changing book with other success-driven women? Then what if you could use that book to get speaking gigs, podcast interviews, and possibly a new client or two? Wouldn't that be great? Well, watch out, chicken soup. Here comes Overcoming Mediocrity. Our proven system can transform your struggle story into a powerful signature message and then as one chapter in an Amazon best-selling book. Our process is simple and economical, and it will bring a lot of eyeballs on you, your business, and your big message to the world. We welcome you to apply to join our project. Just visit us at overcomingmediocrity.org and click on the apply button at the top of the page. We'll see you soon. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast. I am Christy Rufino, and I am back with this amazing panel of women. These are women that are sharing their stories in our Overcoming Mediocrity Empowered Women book that will be out. If you're listening to this, it may be out already on Amazon, or it will be out very shortly. You can also find the book at our overcomingmediocrity.org website, and you can connect with all of the authors from all of our books, and especially these 5 amazing women by going to the authors page on that website. So I promised you something special, and I have it. All of the women here have a free special gift that they are giving out with their story, and this is your chance to learn a little bit about what that free gift is and why you need to get it from them. So we'll start with you, Sharon.
Thank you. I invite anyone that's looking to create a business for themselves by building confidence, courage, and full self-expression through creativity to give me a call. Never believe that you're less than magnificent.
Yay, awesome. And so the contact information for Sharon will be with her story in the book, and you can reach out to her and jump on a phone call with her. So thank you.
Thank
Mary
you.
Lou, what are you sharing with the readers of our book? Mary Lou, we need you to, you're muted.
There we go. Can you hear
There
me
we
now?
go. Yes,
All right.
awesome. So we were all watching her lips move, but we couldn't hear her. So now we get to get congruency with that message. So go ahead, Mary Lou.
Okay, so I'm going to be offering a free webinar as part of my coaching program, and it's called Train Smarter, Not Harder, 3 Steps to Avoid Burnout and Optimize Performance. So I'll be teaching about the gut and some nutrition and supplements that can help optimize performance. And, the goal is to improve to win, not just at sports, but at life, because without health, you can't stay in the game.
Great. Awesome. All right. So the way for people to get that is to get your book, and the link and all of the directions will be in with your story for them to get that. So that's wonderful, Mary Lou. Thanks for sharing that and putting that together for our readers. All right, Lindsay, what special gift do you have that you will be sharing with your story?
So, one of the things that my horse story over that decade prepared me to do is communicate with horses and then later with other people in the world. So, my current job is that I help entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and influencers to show up online intelligently with strategy and to be seen and heard. So, my free gift to you is a course in content production so that people understand how to create and repurpose content so that they can show up online with strategy and be seen and heard and get more leads.
Yay! Who doesn't want more leads? Who doesn't want to be seen and heard?
More leads.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Lindsey. I appreciate you putting that together for our readers and our audience. Yes, wonderful. So Tess, what do you have that you'll be sharing with your story?
I help women, mindful women, entrepreneurs who are stuck in their processes and do not feel in aligned with their business, as far as being in a carousel with no purpose of who they serve, who they are, and how they show up. And so I am going to offer a clarity course, which is going to help you position yourself within your unique identity, help you to step into your power, and then bring the profitability that you deserve. So it's 3 steps to getting some clarity around who you are and how you show up in your business.
Great. Awesome. Can't wait to see that all coming together. And thank you for putting that, giving that free gift for our audience and our readers. So thanks, Tess. All right. Well, last but not least, we have Ginna. What are you going to be sharing along with your story in the Overcoming Mediocrity Empowered Women book?
So, as a social media strategist and personal brand strategist and mentor, I'm going to be giving an e-guide and video series to building a personal brand that's magnetic and takes you from being invisible to connecting with raving fans. So it literally will walk you step by step through those foundations of building a personal brand, and will show you how to attract, inspire, and create a bigger impact in your business and your life.
Great. All right. Well, this is wonderful. We have 5 amazing women today that all have great stories and amazing gifts that they're sharing with our readers. If you are listening to this or even watching our video, you can connect with any of these authors through the show notes below on this link or this episode guide. It will have direct access to all of their contact information, as well as when all of the free gifts are ready, those the links for all that will also be won't be on the website, but you'll be able to contact them and get their book, so then you can get those free gifts. So but thank you all for being here. I know I had fun. You all have amazing stories. I feel privileged because I've had the opportunity to meet all of you and kind of go on this journey with you to get your story out in a big way. And I'm just so excited to see how things, I'm excited to see how your next big story is going to evolve. So thanks, everybody. And if you are listening, make sure you check out future episodes of our Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, as well as future episodes that will be featuring more of our empowered women team. So thanks, everybody. And we will be seeing you all soon. They're all waving. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, where we believe that everyone can have the business and life of their dreams once they've learned the art of mastering their story. Mastering our stories is the key to everything we want in life. Our stories can either hold us back or they can propel us to new heights. We can choose. You can choose. Choose to overcome mediocrity with us. Let's achieve greatness together. To learn more, visit www.overcomingmediocrity.org. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast.